Yeah.
Nice. That's clean.
That's better.
Yeah. And when Cruz talks, you don't hear the echo on Pete anymore. Nice.
Yeah. Unless I yell.
Stop yelling.
All right. You ready to roll?
Yeah, we're rolling.
All right. Oh, we're rolling already. All right. Cool.
That's what I was saying. Should we record right now? And you were like, yeah, sure.
Yeah. It's the best parts are the candid parts, if you ask me.
Everybody listening to this right now is loving it. By the way, I set this recording or set the meeting time for 2 hours. We don't have to go that long. It's just so we don't feel like we're rushed before that 1 hour ends.
Yeah, that's no problem. I'm sorry we were late at the meeting. Someone's a big star in the world of Zoom right now.
And can't keep this guy in one place.
No.
Getting requests for all kinds of interviews, making that money on Kickstarter.
Yep.
Because when this comes out, this is going to come out the first weekend of October. Okay, so this is the official start of spooky season with this episode.
Ooh,
So by that time, that Kickstarter should be over, right?
Yeah, by then it should be over.
Yeah, it's over October 1st, 2nd, or 3rd, right?
No, it's like the 30th of September, I think.
Oh, it doesn't actually make it. Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
last month you had an amazing Kickstarter. You guys got $1 million. That's wild. Good for you.
I was going to see how long it takes before the next Kickstarter for the next book comes out.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a little.
Sorry, I was gonna say that he did so well that that the team did so well that the Kickstarter is now going to be printed on just like solid gold bars. And just, like every single page is going to like weigh a few pounds, and the shipping is going to be outrageous.
Yeah, about to say.
Fancy.
Hey man, you guys are doing pretty good. Like real time. Like you're about halfway done, and you're at $1,300.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, that's not bad. That's better than what I saw this morning. You're like only like 20% or something last time I checked.
Something like that. It keeps going random.
All right. Well,
good. That's what you want. You want the number getting bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Should we do intros?
Yeah, I was trying to remember what number of Comicentric this is going to be. So this is what 4, 5, 6, number 77, I believe, of Comicentric is this one.
Ooh, double sevens. That's
double
lucky.
7.
That good luck or bad luck?
Well, we're missing 1 7, so I would say it's probably okay luck.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like 3 sevens means you win. 2 sevens just means you're almost
breaking
winning.
even. Yeah, you're breaking even.
Pretty good.
Right. I'm not very good at the Zoom thing. Apparently, I keep looking at like the Zillow whole thing, and then I keep looking at the pictures of everybody. So I don't know where to look at for real.
We can get into my presentation early.
Okay. I'll just let everyone know right now that this is actually the first time we've ever done Zoom. So this is the fun part of experimenting with stuff. All right, take it away, Nathaniel.
It's weird. It's weird. I can't hear myself in the headphones.
You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to hear us.
Oh, that's weird.
It's not the normal headphones that you're used to.
Yeah.
All right. So for introductions for everybody listening at home, I'm not sure what our time code is right now. I'm gonna say it's 5 minutes ish. My name is Nathaniel Osollo. I've been lucky enough to be a guest on this podcast today to talk about my comics and whatnot. But today, I'm going to tell you my comics, Dark Mouse Inc. If you're watching a video of this somehow, then that's what you see behind me. That's my second crowdfunded comic book. But today, I'm not going to be talking your ears off about my comics. I'm going to talk to you about all of the cool artwork and the unique and original designs that you can see at Nostalgia Comics right now. And I say right now, this is coming out at the beginning of October. This art show, this Blue Beetle art show. Let's see, I'm going to share. What do I want to share? My Chrome. I'm going to share my Chrome.
Currently going on right now.
this art show going on right now features, and I should really have pictures of the shop here, but for this, I'm just focusing on the designs. But this art show is all in support or inspired by the Blue Beetle character, and specifically the original comics character from way back when.
Which is public domain now.
Which is public domain. That those first few comics, those first few issues are public domain. So check out these cool drawings. These are all 5 or 6 designs by some really esteemed artists that I'm like lucky enough to like. I'll call them my colleagues, even though we don't work like in the same office or really in the same room half the time. But like, I just happen to have met a lot of these guys over time, and when I asked them like, hey, do you want to be part of this art show? I'll sell some T-shirts with your work on it and see how that goes. They were all like, yeah, let's do it. So that's very, it's very nice of them. It's very gracious of them, very generous of them to take the time to make some art and then let me fill up my buddy Pete's shop with those designs. And then if you walk into the shop and you have your phone with you and you're connected to the internet, you can scan a QR code next to any of these designs while you're inside Nostalgia Comic Shop, and you can order these right then and there, and you can have them shipped to your house, or say, oh, my friend would love this, my cousin would love this, my dog would look great in this shirt, whatever. Scan that code and order that for your homies. So I'm gonna go through these like one by one. This design is by Theodore Dumitrescu, which I've never been 100% on how to pronounce his last name, but he's a guy that I met way back. I'm gonna say like definitely in the 2010s.
Right.
I started hanging around this guy named Cosme Cordova, just gonna like name a bunch of Riverside people, who runs a gallery called Division 9 Gallery in Riverside, California. Theodore does these really amazing watercolors. If you like search his name on Instagram, you'll find like all these like tiny miniature paintings that he makes. A lot of his work is very figurative, meaning there's a lot of people, a lot of subjects in the paintings, and they're I think you can call them surreal. There's a lot of just like a kind of floating landscapes, a lot of birds positioned where like they normally wouldn't be, and he has like a really like scientific illustration quality to his work, which is what you can see in this thing here. And we'll click on each one of these so we can look at them. So the idea is, again, when you're at the shop, you can scan the QR code and you're able to order these on shirts. I think this looks really strong on a light color. And if we hover over this, we can get a little pixelated, but I think this is a decent image that we're looking at. It's, it's a center composition. It's really strong. It's really bold. It's super graphic. The background is this faded out, what's the word? It's like blended. There's like golden orb behind him, almost like the sun, and the scarab beetle or this beetle and the blue beetle hero character are like superimposed and like fading into each other. It's just a really cool illustration that like also is kind of like references and kind of looks like a tattoo and like some different tattoo illustrations. So I've been a big fan of his work for a long time, and it's cool to like it's cool to see his paintings pop up like in different places. Like he's I believe he's represented at a gallery in Chicago, and he's like he still lives in Riverside, and he's like you can find his work popping up in like different local shows all the time. But everyone should absolutely follow him. He also makes like he does like some woodworking, and he's been making like cool pens and fountain pen holders and things like that. That are really fun to watch and just peek in on. This next one is Philip McVan. Philip McVan is an artist based out of Arizona, and this is. Did I type? Oh, and this is like the command. Whenever like the little HTML commands pop up, that always confuses me a little bit because every website is a little different. But this is Blue Beetle by Philip McVan. His approach is way more abstract. It is, let's see, let's switch over. Here we go. It's way more abstract. It is got like a lot of graphic printing, almost kind of like Egyptian hieroglyphs going up and down the sides. These icons of the little beetles. He throws in a lot of pink and kind of psychedelic colors that really like shouldn't be in there. And also like he gets it doesn't read right away, but he gets really grotesque with a lot of his drawings, with a lot of his illustration. Like if you get up close and personal with this, there's like what look like intestines popping out of this character. This arm is weird and super veiny and kind of like turning into an Akira thing over here. This further down the arm, you're starting to get those like tree fungus growing on it. And then the face, of course, is like all zombied out. So it's a weird, grotesque, slimy interpretation of the character with like one bat wing here for good measure.
Well, you think about it this way: what do beetles eat? They eat that. So technically, the beetle would be eating on him, right? I mean, I wonder if he thought about that.
Yeah, maybe.
They use carrots and stuff like that to clean the bones. Nowadays, that's what they use to clean bones. Beetles. I don't know, random.
Yeah. I can hear you.
Okay.
I think that might have crossed his mind. But if you go to his Instagram page, you're gonna find a ton of illustrations and just really interesting designs that you can kind of get lost in for a while.
Okay, weirdo, isn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, so am I, and which is
I
think
I love weirdos. Yeah,
kind of why I get along with a lot of these guys. But yeah, no, like just go to his Instagram page and just try not to be impressed with just like the amount, just like the amount of work that he puts into everything. Like there's a lot of the pen touching the paper, and it looks very time consuming, but it's also very stream of consciousness. So although it looks like a very heavy image, like this is a big, at least to me, like visually speaking, this is a big heavy block here, but it still looks like there's like so much organic stuff going on here that it doesn't feel. It also feels a little lighter than that. Not to contradict myself too much. Next one is this gentleman named Robert Kurthy or Bob Kurthy.
This is totally the opposite of the last one because it doesn't feel light. This one feels heavy.
Yeah, this one for sure is pretty heavy. This is a design that he was working on for a hot second, and like he even messaged me about it. I forget like if he emailed me or if he DM'd me or what, but Bob was drawing this and he let me know. I think we met up at an Ink and Drink because all these guys come from Ink and Drink Long Beach, or a lot of these guys come from Ink and Drink Long Beach. I didn't give some background on Phil. I'll do that in a second. But Bob is a guy who lives down near Long Beach. I forget the actual city. I know he's told me 100 times, but like a lot of times when we're hanging out, we're both drinking. But he's a super nice guy, and he was telling me like, oh, I kind of want to do like this psychedelic Blue Beetle thing. I want like the reflective light that sometimes you see on the beetles like during the day. I want that to come across. And then like a week or two went by, and then he sent me this. He's like, hey, I went a different direction. And I was like, really? Because this kind of looks like it looks like the reflective light. Like this is all very static, and like you can tell it's one of those mirror images. Like while he was drawing on the left or the right, the computer is doing the exact same thing on the other side. So it's one of those, but it's and even though like you can see the clear separations between the colors, I think like just like moving your head a little bit, it gives you that impression of the colors kind of blending in together a little bit, and also just the cool graphic motif of syncing up the face and the mask with the beetle shape was I think like a strong, solid choice design wise.
Yeah, solid. That's definitely.
Yeah, and so Bob is part of this group called the Ink and Drink Long Beach, and Philip is as well, and really the other two guys that are part of this art show are also part of that group. Ink and Drink Long Beach is something started by a gentleman named June the Goon on Instagram and Erwin Papa also on Instagram, and they are I met Erwin like at a meetup that I used to go to at Meltdown Comics, RIP, where we would meet up once a month and everybody would draw a page that would end up in a zine, and you'd come back the next month and you'd do another page and you'd chip in a couple of bucks and that goes to printing, and you'd leave your art and then you'd pick it up again, or you'd pick it up the next month after it had been scanned and made into a book. So everybody was basically contributing to a book. The guy who coordinated it would go and print it during that next 30 days, and then on the next month we all met up, you got your art back and a completed book, and then you could make a new page that night for the next book.
Wow.
So anyway, so that's where I met Erwin. And June, I think I met June at Long Beach Comic Con or a different con. I can't 100% remember, but like we had they had both decided to create something of their own. So they created they started like talking to like different local basically local watering holes, different bars, and they started doing Ink and Drink Long Beach, which is an ink and drink. It's a drink and draw. So they put up an open invitation to anyone who wants to go to this bar once a month. You can show up. We'll have paper. We'll have art supplies. You should bring your own, just in case. And you can hang out and drink and draw the whole time. It's basically they put butcher paper over all the tables at night, and everyone who sits anywhere in the bar can draw. And at the end of the night, they clean up all the paper. And they've been doing that for a couple of years. The pandemic put a pause on that for a while, but also because it put a pause on that, they started doing something similar online, which is like, and actually tonight, like every Wednesday, it's not even a monthly thing, but every Wednesday they log on to Discord, to the Ink and Drink Long Beach Discord, which is a link in the Ink and Drink Instagram. Open an invitation there too. Like every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Pacific, people can log in and draw with the crew. So like we'll be talking and drawing on Discord with Philip or Bob and Mike, who I'm going to talk about in a second, and Raphael. Let me see, where was I?
You can draw.
Anyways, yeah.
Friends.
So that's
what the mic.
Say again. lots of walks of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bob comes from the Ink and Drink Long Beach group, or like he joined us, or I don't know the order of things. I didn't start joining those meetups. I went to one pre-pandemic, and that's just because like it's in Long Beach, it's far from my house, and I just happened to be working that in Long Beach that day, so I made sure to stop by. But now I go there like probably like I go to the actual in-person meetup that still happens once a month. I go to that maybe 4 or 5 times a year, and but online I probably meet up with them 3 times a month at least. I'll miss life happens and I miss stuff, and like you're not always gonna have a Wednesday free, but whenever I can I log in and draw with those guys.
Wasn't it for a while at Taco Bell?
That's a different Long Beach centric meetup that's called the Taco Bell Drawing Club. So, but it's a very similar idea. Just show up at this Taco Bell with this guy, and I don't even know the name because I've never been to that one, but I follow them on Instagram. But like he did the same thing. Instead of doing it at a bar, he was just like, hey, like just I assume, or like from my understanding is that like him and a bunch of buddies just like started showing up at like this specific Taco Bell once a month on very specific dates, and they just draw. They just bring their sketchbooks and their supplies, and they all just draw in the courtyard or inside or whatever. And they just recently had their first art show. I saw that pop up where they like basically overtook the restaurant for like 2 hours. Like, you know how you can rent a fast food joint for your kid's party kind of thing?
Yeah.
They did that, but like instead of a kid's party, they had an art show. And so like
that's cool.
Yeah. So I assume they had some easels and they had some artwork. But yeah, that's where I met Bob. Philip jumped on, I want to say at some point during the pandemic. Because he's in Arizona, so like he's obviously not in Long Beach, but like he joined in around I want to say during that time, and I've talked with him at length too, like just because like sometimes we stay on that drawing the drawing chat and Discord for just like way too late into the night, him especially because it's later over there. But he was also on my YouTube drawing show that I did a year ago at this point to promote my first Kickstarter. So anyways, those are the first 3 designs. That's I could talk about the homies all day. This is Theodore Dumitrescu, Philip McVan, and Bob Kurthy over here. And rounding out the top row is Mike Castro. Mike Castro, the first time I met him at the first, I remember where I met him was the first Ink and Drink that I went to, which was pre-pandemic. And he had a camera on him and he was taking photos of everybody. He was like documenting the evening, and I don't know whatever came of those photos. Maybe he posted them, maybe he put them in a video, because he's also he's also a really competent video editor and producer. But I made sure to include him because after a while of going to the in-person Ink and Drinks, I noticed that he wasn't carrying his camera as much and he was drawing a lot more. And like one of the recent times that I went there, I was like, "Hey man," I talked to him and I disclosed that. I was like, "Hey, like first time I met you, you were holding the camera, so like I was assuming like you were primarily a photographer, but like you can get down, man. You can draw like really well. Like there's like it's still a bar. Like the bar doesn't close off to just regular drinkers and people just going out to get a drink. Like so a lot of times there's X amount of people inside the establishment that are there to draw, and there's X amount of people that are coming in just because they're like, oh, here's a bar that's open, let's go get, let's get have a beer, and they'll sit down and draw. So you'll see like people that are just the regular patrons, and then you can see people who are like, oh, this is your day gig, or like you spend a lot of time like drawing on paper or drawing at a desk, like you spent some hours, you put in some mileage on this, and like he definitely has. And and I didn't know that, like at least not at first, but he draws like some really interesting monsters. Last time we were at or at least the last time I was at Ink and Drink, he drew the monsters from Attack the Block. Are you guys familiar with this movie?
Oh yeah,
love that movie. And it was
just wait, it's just blue and black,
right? Yeah, but like
it's just teeth.
It's pretty much just teeth, but like you also have to get one of the things that people don't realize like about silhouettes is that like if that shape is off even a little bit, it looks weird. And like he knows how to draw those weird furry aliens pretty well. I think I've drawn them like maybe once in my life. I've definitely drawn the teeth. But
I did them in watercolor.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to see that.
It's somewhere there.
Is that the shop?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so for anyone, also some context for this call, like I feel like we just like logged on, had some technical issues, and then I just started talking about drawing. So like for anyone who's listening and or watching,
we're leading up to something. Trust us.
Yeah.
Right?
We are?
Yeah, the next show.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that. But I was just I was just saying that like why we're recording this on Zoom. Like part of this was like I wanted to show off these artworks, and I wanted to talk about these designs because I need to make sure that I'm pushing these designs and I'm telling people about the homies. But like part of that is that the easiest way to do that is to do it through Zoom. So we're on Zoom, and I can show you the website where these are all listed, and I can probably just show you like files.
Yeah. What happened?
I think he froze.
No, he didn't. Yeah, he did.
I think he did.
Like that, probably like the flyer. Oh, did I drop off?
Yeah, for a second.
Yeah.
Oh, what about now? Can you hear me? Can you see me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Hang on. You can't see this because I think I'm only sharing my browser. Hang on. We're gonna reshare, and we're just gonna do screen 2. All right. So here's the original flyer for the art. Yeah. So like I could just start showing you this stuff, but I feel like I'm like going on way off on a tangent. But this going back to my point, like this is why we're doing it digitally, because I can show you all the things about this art show and about the homies artwork. And anyways, back to Mike. Mike drew an uncannily similar composition to what Theodore turned in. Like when I think I got Theodore's first, but I didn't show anybody. And when I got Mike's in, I was like, that's wild that these came in so close. And like even the background is blue, but like that's just like a lot of that speaks to the skill level and the technique of these gentlemen, because there's a couple of key things going on here that I'm gonna point out. Number one, it's a central composition. Everything is right dead center and it looks good. Like you can make a central composition and something doesn't look good, like it's gonna look like off balance a little bit. But these guys went central and for the most part symmetrical. Mike's is a little asymmetrical, the figure, the human figure. Theodore's is 100% symmetrical except for his signature here. Similar thing going on with Bob's. But anyways, these two, the background also is something to note. Mike's background is obviously darker than Theodore's, but they both have the kind of circular orb, yellow thing going on behind the character. And that's just good color theory, because yellow and orange is the opposite of purple and blue. Like you need those things to contrast each other to have one stand out and come towards you a little bit. One of those things to function well as a background. So that's what Mike has chosen to do here. He's gone the darker route. He's gone the central composition, and I also want to point out, I think he's the only one, or he's he's one of the few guys who drew the character with a gun, because the character absolutely has a gun in the first few comics, and like probably more than just a few comics. But one of the other interesting things about Mike's design is that he originally turned it in like with I think the size limitation on these is like 4200 pixels by 4200, and he originally turned it in with the wings cropped. So like right about here and right about here, it was just like they were just kind of going out of the image, and like that's what he had sent me. And I was like, oh man, this looks great. Oh, and he even has the little beetle on the belt and on the forehead. If you come into the shop, you can see it a lot better. Get people in the shop. Get people walking in the door. But I wanted to point out, oh man, see, I lost my train of thought. I'm going all over the place. I went into the folder on my computer, and we were talking about a gun.
The mic and the symmetrical, no, he's not, and the contrast.
Oh, chopped off the wings. So he chopped off the wings, and he sent me the drawing, and I was like, dude, this looks great. And I was like, is there any way? I don't remember what my email exactly said, but I tried to send the message of like, hey, if you can send me the image. Like it looked like there was more to the image, and he just cropped it to fit the square like specs that I sent him. So like I was like, oh, well, like send me the full thing. And because I thought that it was full, but he just wanted the character taller, so he just cropped it and then sent me that. But come to find out that like later on he was like, hey, so I drew the rest of the wings, and I was like, oh crap, I didn't mean to make you draw anything else. But like it just looked like it looked like they were there, and you had cut them off for some reason. But like he went back and he drew them, and it looks great. And I'm so glad he did, and I was okay with it.
And then just to point out like the difference in contrast of the beetles itself, like down from the wings to the arms, it's a different beetle altogether.
Right. Yeah. Excellent point. Yeah. I believe Mike has drawn a rhino beetle.
Yeah.
I'm not 100%.
Because of the horn in the front, right?
Right. Exactly. And or some variation of a rhino beetle or something close to that, because you're right, because of the horn in the front. And Theodore's done something closer to a scarab. Both cool, beautiful creatures that work really well in these compositions. So
I'm not hating. I'm just pointing out.
Oh no, yeah, I didn't think you were hating. I'm just talking about the buddy's artwork. All right. Last but not least, this Blue Beetle by Rafael Flores. This is a digital. I'm gonna call this one a digital painting, even though like a few of the others could qualify as digital paintings. This one looks the most. They're all digital paintings, but this one looks the most painterly. If I can get a little art criticky here. It looks painterly. You can see like digital brush strokes and things like that, and everything else that was turned in was a little more polished. I think Phillips was like probably more like comics illustration, but this one is like digital painting, but like you can see like the layers that go into it. You can even see like over here on his on the left side of the figure, like on this shoulder, you can see this little green line. That's not because he went in there and drew a green line, because you don't see that anywhere. That's from blue and yellow mixing over here. Like the blue is going over the yellow, so that's becoming a green line, and kind of works really well too, because it's making him like pop out against the green.
Yeah.
He's got a gun here too. He's got the little beetle on the forehead. This is much more cartoony, much more like almost like an animated style.
Yeah.
Like if we wanted to see a Blue Beetle video game, or a Blue Beetle, almost kind of like not quite Bruce Timm, but kind of leaning towards that kind of design.
You know what it would be like that Don Bluth Space Ace or Dragon Slayer?
With the Space Ace?
Did you freeze again? Hey, there you are. Yeah.
Am I back, or are you back?
You're back.
Okay, I left.
Yeah. I was just commenting on how it looks like Dragon Slayer.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you heard that.
I heard it. I don't think you guys heard me. So I'm not familiar with that. Are you saying Dragon Slayer or Dragon's Lair?
Lair.
Lair. Okay. Yeah. Is that a video game?
Yeah, it's like one of the first animated video games ever made.
Oh, it's that one. It looks like 2D animation.
Mm-hmm.
Or it is 2D animation, but they put it in a bit. Yes, I have seen like short clips of this. Yeah,
so it could be like a character from that. That's what I'm saying. It has that feel.
Yeah. And the background is like, it's not clearly fire, but it totally reads like fire. It's like
explosion.
Exactly. Big chested dude. Looks powerful. Is holding a gun. It's a fun design. And then it's all like cropped into this like almost Spiderman looking beetle. Except we know that this is Blue Beetle, so we assume that this is a beetle. But it's again, solid, cool graphic that I think works really well. Yeah. And then this one snuck in here.
And then let's talk about that one.
On this one, I'm not sure.
That one's hands down my favorite.
No, it's not. You don't have to say that.
Yes, it is. And the fact is, here's the thing: when I first saw it, I didn't even know it was yours. Okay, and that's the only one that was like, that's funny. And I kept on staring at it, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is Nathaniel, and then Peter's like, yep. I'm like, good.
I want to see this comic.
I want to see this comic too. That's exactly right. He froze again.
That's so funny. So it looks like what comic?
No, we want to see the comic version of this.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, this is I went pretty heavy on the comic illustration style for this, so it looks like a comic. It's basically like all this really is the Spirit, but as a bug. It's just if Spirit was a bug and he still wore the suit, like the mask doesn't fit him, so I didn't draw the mask. But like at one point, like I was really racking my brain because like I wanted to draw a Blue Beetle, and I was like I don't and I made sketches of like the original Blue Beetle, the one that I give to everybody else. I also feel like it kind of seems like I didn't do the assignment that everybody else did, but also I didn't love anything else that I was drawing, and I was like man, I know I can make something cool, but like I'm just like not into any of these, and if I do that, then the drawing's not gonna come out good. And I started thinking about like, what if it was like some dude who built like a mech suit in the shape of a beetle? Like that would be kind of cool. And I was like, why don't I just like, instead of like a dude wearing clothes to look like a beetle, I was like, why don't I just draw a beetle wearing clothes to look like a dude? And so I did this beetle wearing a suit. And like the more like I thought about it, the more like I laughed, and I was like, that's so dumb. Like, why is this bug trying to look like a dude? Like you look like a monster. You're a monster, man. Take the suit and tie up. You don't need that. And so like I imagine this character in like an action movie or a comic, and like he's very sophisticated, and like this is basically like my beast. Like he's super smart. He's very articulate and well mannered. But if you shove him, he's gonna go apeshit on you. Like that's like he's gonna turn into like his wings are gonna explode, and his suit is gonna be ripped to shreds, and he's gonna eat your face. Like it's gonna be bad.
He's gonna bug out.
Hey, nice. Yeah. So that was the direction I went with this. This is very like this is like the cool comics version of, and I don't mean like cool, like I mean like this is like a comics version of Have you guys seen Mimic, that old
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro movie?
Yeah.
Where the roaches mutate and they grow
Mm.
like the size of men and they start imitating men just like in
Yeah.
coats. That's what this kind of reminds me of, or made me think about when I was drawing it. So that's the art show. There are 6 cool pieces of artwork that everybody that's listening to this should go check out. If you were listening to this, you missed some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
This doesn't mean this is the end of the recording. This is just like I've gone through the visuals already. But you guys, you did not get a chance to see this. If this comes out as a video later, I hope you all get a chance to see it. And if you can't watch that video, I hope you go to the shop and you check out this artwork and you support the artist and you buy some shirts. And
Yep.
let me stop sharing my screen now.
No, I mean, we tell everybody that comes in about the QR code, and they think it's a good idea, but it's just kind of like they're scared of it. You know?
I think there's something to that. I was telling Pete the other day that like you go into a store, a physical storefront location, and you are familiar with that experience and you're familiar with different things in that experience, different actions and behaviors that you performed before in that space. And if you're going to go into a familiar space and do something new and different, you don't automatically take to that. You don't do it right away. So I think there's a little bit of coaching that needs to go with that, or I don't know what. But I'm always interested in trying different things. I always am super grateful and hopefully gracious when my buddies are down to try different things and to do something that we love doing, making cool art in a different way and present it a different way. So this is what's up at the shop right now.
Currently.
Thank you as always to Pete for giving a cool artist a space to show off some cool drawings.
Oh, of course, man.
Yeah. So I've been talking for like a half hour.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, it's been a long lead up. It's been a long lead up until the next event, which is gonna happen next weekend. Well, the time this comes out, audio wise.
Yeah. So thanks for direct me a little more. Tell me like how we're gonna present this. But
okay, let's direct this a little more. But basically, next weekend, on next Friday the 13th, right?
Yep.
You're gonna be having the machetes and what is it? Hatchets and masks. I already fucked up the name.
That's okay. I kind of want to hear what you think the name is, because it's not bad. Hatchets and machetes and masks. That's not bad either.
Yeah, I was just saying, oh my.
Nice.
Yeah.
No,
but a hatchet and a machete is the same thing, though.
Right.
Problem with that one.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's Friday the 13th, so we're celebrating the biggest Friday the 13th character there is, which is, Voorhees, right?
Right. Yeah. So today you said this is dropping the October 1st or October 3rd?
3rd.
So October 3rd. So in 10 days time, if you're listening to this when this drops, there's going to be another art show at Nostalgia Comic Shop called Big Knives and Hockey Masks. And it's all about I'm calling it a horror themed art show. We're calling it a horror themed art show, which means that there's going to be a bunch of horror designs, a bunch of monster designs. Probably it's probably safe to assume.
So it's not limited to just Friday the 13th or Jason.
Absolutely not limited to only Jason. It is 100% going to be anything Halloween themed or spooky themed. So
okay.
I'll share my screen one more time just to show off that flyer.
Hockey masks.
Big knives and hockey masks. And you're right, that is a machete in the image. So that's a good call. But yeah, this is the next art show. I have some designs from the artists already. There's going to be more artists to be announced. If this is we're recording this on 9/13, so in between now and when this goes up is like almost 3 weeks. So there'll probably be a different flyer by that point. But yeah, maybe even if I'm supposed to be talking about this from the beginning, I'm sorry. But maybe you can like snip some of this and throw it at the beginning. But yeah, absolutely. On October 13th, that is an actual Friday the 13th in the month of October, the scariest month of all. the cool and one of the coolest and funnest months, depending on the people you're talking to, and
Yeah.
celebrate
Spooky
everything.
season.
Yeah, spooky season. Celebrate everything horror, everything Jason Voorhees, everything Camp Crystal Lake on October 13th, Friday the 13th at Nostalgia Comic Shop from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Come check out a bunch of cool artwork and a bunch of new cool artwork that you can order on shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah, come through and hang out. And Cruz said he's gonna dress up in a cool, fun costume. Pete said that he's gonna match Cruz. I'm pretty sure.
Pretty sure I heard that too somewhere.
Yeah,
sounds about right.
They're both gonna be vampires. That's what they told me.
I'm already bloodsuckers, so it works.
Nice. But yeah, that's I'm sorry, I didn't realize we were gonna like drop that in the beginning, and then I absolutely wanted to like talk about my friend's stuff, but like yeah, if we want to promote that at the head start, I'm sorry.
No. Well, that's what I kind of thought we were going to go with it. But then I like the fact that you promoted the previous show, or the current show, I should say, because seriously, there is a lot of great art right here, and a lot of people did not get privy to that or weren't able to see that firsthand. And I like that you have it available on your website, and if they don't have to, after I guess the show is over here, they still can get it, right?
Technically, like the agreements say something to the effect of if the artist wants to take it down, like when the art show comes down from the physical space, we'll pull it down from the website as well. Unless the artist wants to keep it up, then we talk about that at that point. But yeah, there's an option to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, and like for this to work with a QR code, anyways, it needs to live somewhere on the internet.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so that's just where it's at. Like it's kind of like what I do with my day job, which is like I sell real estate classes, and there are authors that write and record those classes, and every time those sell, they get some kind of residual or revenue share. And so that's more or less what I'm doing here. Like, hey, like I have my online shirt store. If you guys want to make some designs and sell it through there, every time it sells, you get X amount, and you can sell artwork without having to carry your painting over here, hang it up, worry about coming to pick it back up. Like you gotta spend your gas money, like that kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
all that good
Especially
stuff.
like your guy that lives on Arizona or in another state.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Exactly.
And it opens opportunities he wouldn't have over there, obviously.
Right.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea. I like the idea. Like I said, it's just people need to get on board with it.
Hey, thanks, man. I mean, like it's still very early. This is like the Blue Beetle show is the first one we're doing. The Big Knives and Hockey Masks will be the second one. So, it takes people a while to get used to something. Like we said, this is something that shopping, like I'm not familiar with doing this in any store. If I'm going to a store, I 100% do not enjoy digital experiences, which is weird that I've like jumped into this. But like if I go, like when I go rent a U-Haul truck now, and they say like we have to take your picture, I'm just like, man, like you can just like make a Xerox of my ID. Like, why do we have to bring my cell phone into this? This is why am I working for your like? This is not like why am I scanning my groceries at the checkout? Like, I'm that old guy.
That's the future. Apparently, we need to do some things for ourselves and do this stuff. Computers.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. That's not the. It's now. It's not the future. We're not.
Yeah.
It's here today.
Yeah.
Robots,
man.
robots.
Yeah.
They're just taking over everything at this point. There's no point of having anything else to do with anything. In the future, we're just gonna, all be. What if we're already robots and we're just bitching about being alive?
Oh, then it's just Terminator Salvation, the greatest Terminator ever.
Salvation, not even Genesis.
No, I'm just kidding. I've never seen like
I thought you were being sarcastic again. That's why I went with Genesis.
Well, yeah, I am being sarcastic. Which one is Genesis? Is that the most recent one where John Connor was a robot?
Yeah.
When they go back and they try to rewrite part 2.
And then like old Arnold, even though he's a robot.
Right. Yeah, he shows up. Like he opens the door at the cabin or something. That's the one I never saw. I saw Salvation with Christian Bale, right?
Yeah.
I was watching that. I was like, oh, it turns out Batman's a robot.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's a future one.
Yeah. Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen that one.
Wait
the
a
movie's like 20 years old.
No, what is the last one called? Because Genesis was the
Genesis.
other one.
Is it not
Oh,
Genesis?
I might be. I don't know now. Now it's gonna bug me.
I'm pretty sure it's Genesis.
Yeah, probably.
It was
is.
Salvation, and then it was Genesis.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm gonna use my internet powers.
Oh, we're on the internet. We can do that. Oh, look at that. We can navigate outside of that and still have the zoom on. That's
Yeah.
insane. Sorry, I'm still learning this stuff. You know that, right?
I did not know that.
Now who's the old man?
Genesis,
Never claimed not to be.
Genesis was 2015, and Dark Fate was
There you go.
2019. Dark Fate.
Yeah,
It's where Sarah Connors comes back. There's 6 movies?
yeah.
Man. I thought it was 5. Wow, I forgot all about Genesis. Which one was Genesis?
That was the one where they brought in what's her face in Game of Thrones to play like Sarah
Yeah,
Connor.
Daenerys.
Yeah, from like, but it was like a reboot of part 2.
Part 2, yeah.
Right?
Really?
Something like that.
They're trying to stop the events of part 2 so that Sarah Connor doesn't become a badass and doesn't stop.
But then they go to the future. They go to present day. So like 90s Sarah Connor is in the present or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's weird.
I gotta watch that one too.
No, you don't.
Well, yeah, because how am I gonna watch Dark Fate if I don't see Genesis?
Oh, that's right. It's spelled weird, right?
Yeah, it's Genisys.
Yeah.
Genesis.
Genesis?
But it's about like social media too, right? Like they're launching an app or something. It's going to become Skynet or some shit like that.
Oh man.
Oh, right, because we prevented Skynet, but we didn't prevent all of Skynet. We prevented just a different version of Skynet or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, see, like it's a parallel. It's a Terminator multiverse, is what it is.
Yeah, basically.
Nice.
Because even in the Dark Fate, there's this whole thing where he's like Arnold's the Terminator that got left behind when the timeline got rewritten. But then that doesn't make sense. Like he shouldn't exist anymore.
Right, yeah. Like he fell through a wormhole or some shit. Like, you could have done it a different way. Like I'm talking like I haven't seen this movie, but like if I had to guess based off the preview, I would have assumed that like, oh, he's the same cyborg that came back and like supposedly jumped in the thing, but maybe he climbed out, or like maybe he's a Terminator that came back and like, like he's a machine. He had a glitch and like his skin started aging, like it's organic matter and like it's that's gonna fall away eventually.
Yeah, that's how they explain it. It's organic matter. That's why he got older.
Right.
But then it's weird because then like he ends up like meeting this woman and like he kind of gets married. It's really weird, man.
He develops feelings. Can a robot love?
And he becomes like a curtain salesman or something. It's really weird, man.
That's the worst. You were built to kill.
That's the worst.
We're terminating these curtain sales.
The best part of that marketing was they made a phone number for his curtain company.
Awesome.
And if you call it, it's Arnold doing like a freaking answering machine recording. Is the best.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is funny, man. That guy has all the charisma.
He does.
That dude, Dwayne Johnson, like those guys are like, it's like, man, I hate how charming you are, but also you're very charming.
Yeah.
I'm charmed.
I recently saw a snippet on the TikTok or something. It was when Arnold Schwarzenegger met The Rock, like at some WWE, and they're like just spewing out like their catchphrases back and forth. I'm like, this is so dumb, but I enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah, like it's hard not to get on board with like wrestling stuff. Like you don't want to love it. Like you know all the stereotypes, but like it's like, man, some of that's good. It's I grew up on so much of that. Good stuff. Anyways, how do we get on Terminator?
I don't know.
So I want to I'm curious about Cruise now. Like you're on, this is episode 77. And I haven't listened to everything recently. I've listened to like here and there. I listened to the episode, Pete, of you guys, of the whole team promoting Gordo, which again made you $3 million, which is amazing. Kudos. But you guys have been doing surprise guests or like surprise guests to each other, and like I don't know, like I might have missed it online, but maybe you sent out an email and a newsletter, or maybe you sent out a post. But like, what's the context for this? This is essentially you're both inviting somebody to the podcast, and you're not telling the other person. Like Cruz will invite someone, but not tell you, Pete, and then the next week the reverse. Pete invites someone and then doesn't tell Cruz. Like that feels like a show in of itself. Like surprise, guess who? Like with Pete and Cruz.
Yeah, and it's pretty much like someone has not been on the podcast before,
right?
So we kind of like have to or forced to reach out of our normal comfort zone.
I think that's great.
Yeah, and for me it was super simple because outside my comfort zone is my own family.
Yeah. Oh Jesus!
So if you listen to today's podcast, you hear my brother.
I don't know if we have all the time in the world to unpack that.
No.
But I did listen to the episode with your brother, and I met your brother at the Spiderman art show. For everyone listening and or watching, there's we had a different, a more traditional style art show. We had an open call Spiderman show. Where Cruz had a piece. Cruz drew a Sailor Moon crossed with Spider-Man character in kind of a chibi style. If I can be so bold, do you want to talk about your piece a little bit?
Yeah, I am surprised that it sold.
Yeah,
that's also the most surprising part of it.
Also, one of the ones that sold. There were a couple of pieces in that show that sold. And which is, I love when that happens. But like truth be told, like I never go into an art show expecting anything to sell because it's art. It's not something like, there's the argument that like you need art to live, and I 100% believe that, but I don't need art like I need water and food. So whenever I hold an art show or whenever I'm part of an art show, I kind of like I go in with the mindset like I'm just here to do a creative thing with some homies, and if it sells, great. If not, that's fine too. And as long as I talk to some friends and see how people are doing, like that's going to be it. And organizing the Spider-Man show, which was a more traditional physical art show, people brought in their paintings, brought in their illustrations. I rigged up some chains on the doors that I had. I should talk about that. I rigged up some chains on these mobile walls that I built in my backyard, and we hung paintings on those. And the Spider-Man artwork, and I think there's still one Spider-Man piece still hanging out at the shop. But just like that one hasn't been picked up, and I haven't seen that dude at the Ink and Drink. He's also an Ink and Drink person that I met there. But anyways, I try not to go into an art show expecting anything to sell, and something like 3 pieces sold out of that Spider-Man show, which was great, which is like fantastic. Like one of those artists is Rachel and De Reuter, I'm gonna say is how I'm gonna pronounce that name, and I won't say it again, just in case I get that wrong. I feel bad for like how many times I've probably mispronounced Theodore's name. But anyways, Rachel did this really amazing piece, and you can find it on her Instagram, where she did a lot of like kind of like drippy splash painting and made this like sporadic image of this like spontaneous image, and then used those kind of wild lines, unpredictable lines that she made with the paint, and then she went down and traditionally painted onto that surface. It was basically like a poured paint piece where you pour something onto a flat canvas or piece of wood, and then you have to wait for that to dry. You really have to wait like days for like that amount of liquid to seal over and dry. Which she did, excuse me, and then she painted these really cool 3 Spider-Man heads on it. Your traditional red Spidey, and your the black and red Miles Spidey, and then Spider-Man 2099. And I think that thing came out so sharp. That was
dude. It sounds the way you're describing it. That's like way complicated.
Yes, but yes, it is.
But like you said, it came out really well, and then the colors lent itself to that piece so Wow.
Yeah, I think the colors were very deliberate what she was doing. Like she knows what she was doing with like those splashes. Like it's a black background. There's blue and there's white and then there's red, which are all Spider-Man colors. So that was very deliberate. The wild part is like the splashing of the paint. Like that's like in my head, I want to try and communicate an image like this dark mouse image behind me. This is a very straightforward image that I can draw in about 30 seconds with like just a pencil, and that's how I like to work. Like I love painting also, but when I'm painting, I like to go very fast. Like I painted the Spider-Man show flyer, and that's a very quick and ugly splash of red, and then like some very loose Spider-Man lines over that. And then the third one that sold was, oh man, I'm gonna forget her name. Shoot.
I don't remember her last name, but I remember it was Brianna.
Brianna, yes.
Yeah, I don't remember her last name though.
Rojas?
Maybe, yeah, it sounds about right.
I'm gonna look it up so I can make sure I get it right. But yeah, and then hers was the other piece that sold. So we sold a few pieces, and we had like something like 20 artists, which was like we like Pete and I both put out open calls, and then we both got like 20 responses, and then we're like, this is way too many people. Like, close the open call. Let's, you know, there's like by default there's gonna be some people that drop off. There's gonna be some people that, you know, life happens and they're not gonna participate, and that's okay. But like, we wanted to like, we only have three little walls in there that we can use.
For now.
For now, sure. We're gonna, I don't know if we're gonna turn the whole place into a gallery anytime soon.
I keep scaring Peter, telling him that you're gonna build another 3, and we're just gonna shove him in here when he's not looking.
You know, to that point, the like the reason that there are 3 walls in there. So if anyone's gone into the Nostalgic Comic Shop this year, you have seen these 3 like tall mobile walls. These walls that are sitting on wheels, and they're actually doors. And I got these doors at a construction surplus store, and I brought them home, and I used my old cupboards that we ripped out of my kitchen, or that and I chopped those down so I could make some feet for these doors, and then I attached some wheels to all these doors, and now there are 3 mobile walls inside Nostalgic Comic Shop, and I made them specifically for the purpose. I made them in December last year.
Yeah.
I made them specifically for the purpose of holding an art show for my Dark Mouse drawings for Dark Mouse Inc. for a campaign that I was going to do. And I was like, hey, like I messaged Pete and I was like, hey man, can I have an art show at your shop? And I'm going to make these walls. And like first, like the idea that I had to make walls there was way more complicated, and just didn't really work. And then like when I don't remember how we worked this out, but I was like, okay, this is just going to be simpler and I can do this at home, and then I'll just take him over there with my brother's truck and like all this. So like I wanted to have an art show, and that was going to be like, we had a panel and we had a talk and we had like a kickoff night for the comic, for the campaign. And that campaign at the end of the day was successful, or the end of the 30 days. But the idea was that we're going to have an art show at Nostalgic, and that will like help market and communicate to people that there is a campaign going on that's looking for funding. And then I just left them there. And then the walls were just there, and the drawings were just there. And Pete didn't say one word. And I was just like, at some point, a couple of months later, I was like, man, like I was telling my wife, I was like, man, I feel bad that I just like built this furniture and just made this dude hold on to it. Like he didn't even ask, like, hey man, can I put some action figures? Like I'm you're so generous, Pete. You're so gracious. Like,
no problem, man.
If it were my shop, I would have like put up like all kinds of figurines and started using that as like my own props. Like, hey man, when you want to come and get your doors, come and get them. But like, here's a bunch of my stuff that I put on them for right now.
You know what? We didn't even think about that.
Oh man, you're too kind. Too kind. And so like, I don't know if I would have just done it. Like I probably would have talked to you like about it, but anyway. So at some point I was like, hey man, do you want to do like other art shows? Like we could like rotate stuff there. And you were like, yeah, that's cool. And I was like, cool, all right, Spider-Man, let's do that. And now we do art shows.
Yeah, worked out.
And now we're a gallery.
Now there's a gallery inside Nostalgic Comic Shop. And her name is Brianna Rivera.
Rivera, there you go.
Rivera.
Brianna Rivera also An acclaimed artist at Nostalgia Comic Shop.
And it was cool too because that was her first show that she ever did.
That's so neat. There's a few artists that participated that they were like, this is my first time doing anything like this.
Yeah.
And I was like that's great, man. Like I hope you do more. Like this is like a stepping stone. Like there's those conversations, that you have with people that are like they want to do more, and I'm like, yeah, man, like I love that you want that, and I love that you're hungry for that. Like I can't give that to you because I'm not an institution, and I don't have that kind of budget, and I'm not a publishing company. If you had a real estate class, then we could talk. It's like that company I work for, they have the budget for that. Yeah, I would love to get to that point where I could like give people more opportunities. But this is like a good jumping off point for a lot of people to like build some confidence.
Yeah.
Can do the thing. And like
there was this
people,
one dude. This one dude came in. He came in also for that show, and he had his book, and he had like a comic or something, like he was drawing nothing but sketches on it, and he was showing everybody his sketches. Who was that guy?
I want to say that was Diego. I was going to tell you.
There you go.
He has Diego Sanchez has some
very enthusiastic guy.
Yeah, and he's got like a comic that he's working with his writer buddy, who also came to the show. They are about to print that themselves. I think they were saying that they didn't want to crowdfund, and I was like, hey, that's cool. If I can lend any advice, I would say crowdfund, because it's just financially speaking, business wise, like it really resolves a lot of headaches ahead of time. But like, to each their own. If they want to do it that way, good for them. I did it like that for a number of years, and I was able to pull that off, but it's not easy.
It's unofficial right now, but they might be launching that book here at an event.
Cool.
At the store here?
Cool.
Yeah. At the store, yeah.
Good. Man, I love that. Giving creatives opportunities. But yeah, so like he was like at the show, and like before the show when he was dropping off his Spider-Man artwork, he was like he had a portfolio with him, and it had really sharp work done. It was it was clean, and it was put together, and I was like, hey man, you have a lot of like good structure here, and I hope you keep doing it. Like it's strong and it's solid, and you're making this comic with your buddy, and apparently they're gonna launch it at Nostalgic. That's gonna be great. So cool. Love to see that happen.
Yeah, he was very proud of it. Very, very, very happy to show it to whoever was paying attention to him at the time.
Yeah, and that's how you should be. You gotta show everybody. Like no matter how weird or awkward you think you are, you need to show people your artwork, because like nobody's gonna do it.
It's easier said than done, but a lot of people will not do that.
Huh?
Yeah, it's easier said than done.
People
will not do that at all.
Oh, I 100%. It takes a lot. It takes a lot. I'm not discounting anybody for not doing it. I get it. It takes a lot for people to go on a podcast. And like that's not. I'm sitting in the comfort of my own home. I'm talking to you guys over the internet. But like even this kind of scenario, it's not. A lot of people are not into it, and I'm not saying like I'm good at it or anything. I'm just saying like this is just. It's just another way to tell people tell people about my work, tell people about my friends' work, and where they should go and all that. Oh, and I didn't even mention it. So go to idraw.threadless.com if you want to check out these shirts from home. EYEDRAUGH.threadless.com.
Threadless is big, so people should know how to spell that.
Threadless what?
Threadless is a big company, so people should know how to spell it.
Yeah, not everybody knows about it. Like it was. I feel like when we were in high school, like that's when it was like on its like first ascension towards like really like being an acclaimed institution that I feel like it is now, but I don't know. It's they have a decent marketing budget because you see those ads, but
they had like originally they had like $5 shirts, $10 shirts, and stuff like that, and they were like nicely drawn shirts and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's different.
They started. Well, I don't know if they started, but like the first iteration that I remember of them, like they really focused on the original designs that people would make for like what do you call it? It's kind of like they were trying to build their content, build their a design library, and like how do you do that? You get people to make the artwork, and then you offer them a cut of like what you're doing. I'm basically like a small thread list. Like this is like I'm doing what they were doing 10 years ago, but they were doing it like across the whole internet. I'm just doing it with my buddies. I'm like, hey guys, you want to make some Beetle shirts? And then next month we're gonna do some big knives and hockey masks. You know, I've never seen Jason.
Wait, what?
I've never seen any of the Friday the 13th.
But there's so many of them.
Yeah, there's. I'm gonna look that up now.
There's like 15 of them.
15?
How do you go through your list? I mean, you know, obviously about them, and you know the world tells you about it, but
right,
it's such a classic. How do you not sit down and watch a classic? It's a classic horror movie.
Yeah, I don't.
Or what do you consider a classic horror movie?
I don't really have a good answer for that. I was one of those kids that was told that like, oh, this is a scary movie, you shouldn't watch it. And then I just like took that at face value. And so like anytime there was a scary movie, I was like, well, I guess I'm not supposed to watch that. And I just grew up, on like all ages stuff, which is why I make like all ages stuff. But no, yeah, nowadays in my life, I'm like I should really like watch some of this stuff. There's like a whole culture behind this. I didn't realize until so late in life that I would be like fine going to Monster Palooza. Like I used to think like, oh, if I go to Monster Palooza, something bad will happen. Like it's such an absurd thought, and that seems like such a fun space.
Yeah, dude, trust me. I mean, at least the first two are fun. Anything after that, like you don't need part three. You don't need any of those stuff. The first two, I think are the solid ones.
Are you sure I shouldn't do Jason Takes Manhattan?
Oh,
it feels like it's crucial to the storyline.
Yes, but if you're not going to watch any of the other ones,
what about Jason Goes to Hell, man?
No, well,
yeah, I heard legitimately. I heard that Goes to Hell was good. Okay, so there's 12 movies according to Wikipedia.
Wait a minute, we're forgetting about what was it called? Like, was it in space?
Jason X.
Jason X, yeah.
Yeah. Which is Jason 10 for those keeping track at home.
Or don't know Roman numerals.
Keeping score at home. Yeah.
Yeah. He's never seen. Can you believe this? He's never seen any of the fucking Jason movies.
Yeah, me either.
What?
Yeah, you either. Nice.
I've seen the original.
Okay.
And I've seen
X.
I've seen X. Was Jason Go to Hell? Was that the 3D one?
Jason
it was the 3D one.
Okay, I saw that one, but that's about it. Like I haven't seen in between.
Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday.
Yeah, which it wasn't, but that's how it goes.
I love that they stopped at 12. Like Friday the 13th series should really stop at 13.
Right?
Why did you, man? Did it just tank that hard in 2009?
You know what? I think I saw that Michael Bay one, the Michael Bay produced one.
Is that
the Halloween? Not the Rob Zombie one?
Oh yeah,
no, that's Halloween. No, there's a Friday the 13th.
Yeah, Friday the 13th from 2009. That's the 12th movie, and that does have Michael Bay listed as a producer.
Yeah,
that's the one that has the guy from Supernatural as the main character, right?
I think so. Yeah, one of them. Yeah.
Damien Shannon.
You know what's really weird about that movie? There's a character in that movie that shows up in the first Transformers movie. So it's in the same universe.
What?
Yeah, it's weird, man.
But is he playing the same character?
Yeah, he's playing the same character.
Oh.
So there's a Michael Bay universe?
Yeah. So the Transformer movie is like a prequel to that Friday the 13th movie because that guy dies.
All right.
I would not know this if you weren't telling me this right now.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I'm assuming he did that on purpose, right?
Yeah, it has to.
Yeah.
So Nathaniel, don't watch any of them. As a matter of fact, forget about it. Forget it.
It's not worth your time.
And then, but you know what? There's a script that they turned into a comic that was a sequel to Freddy vs. Jason.
Oh,
and they added Ash from Evil Dead.
Hell yes, that I will read all day. I'm gonna go on Hoopla and download that tonight.
It's amazing. Like it's so cool. Like it takes all the cool elements of all those franchises and throws it together.
Good.
Yeah,
good. Is it like a single issue, or is it like go like?
No, it was
3 or 5.
Yeah.
It was a mini series.
Great.
But it ties it all in, like the Kandarian book with like the tale of Jason and the dreams of Freddy, and it all ties it in weird ways. Yeah, I think you're gonna dig it actually.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna check that out.
The comic is a weird sequel to Freddy vs. Jason, so you kind of have to have seen that to kind of get what's going on a little bit. But
sure.
It's pretty cool.
I mean, all you have to know is Freddy and Jason are fighting.
Yeah.
What else you gotta know?
No, he kills him. He beats Freddy.
Allegedly.
I mean,
allegedly.
I guess like you want him to kill Freddy because Freddy is more supernatural than Jason is, even though Jason just like never dies. Like there's always, I feel like with Michael Myers, there's always like some like cheap way that he gets out of the obvious ending for him. But I've never seen the Jason movies, so I can't really say. Like Halloween, I've seen Halloween, and like many of those sequels, not all of them, but I've seen a lot of them. I haven't seen any of the Rob Zombie iterations, but we grew up. I think grew up like that was one of the scary movies I saw as a kid. Me and my siblings watched Halloween 1 and maybe Halloween 2 like way too many times. Like my brother loved one of those Halloween sequels. I don't remember which one it was, but it wasn't great. There was like there's a hospital scene, or like a lot of the movie takes place in a hospital, and that's part 2. Okay, yeah. So it just gets very dark in that hospital for no explicable reason. Just as the movie goes on, all the lights in the hospital start turning off. Like, and you're just like, why is it so dark in this hallway? Like, how are the doctors gonna walk around? Also, where are the doctors? Like where is the staff? The security at this the electric bill must be great because they're not turning on any machines. Nobody goes to this hospital because they're just all gonna die because they don't plug any machines in.
Mm-hmm.
And was it part 5? Is like an early Paul Rudd movie? It's like the one about the cult, but yeah, he's in it. Like he's a real young Paul Rudd.
Isn't that Halloween 3? Isn't like where there's like some trick or treaters and a cult or something? I've never seen it, but
no, part 3 is a Season of the Witch, and that's actually my favorite one because it had nothing to do with Jason Voorhees
or Michael Myers.
Or Michael Myers, sorry, yeah, Michael Myers. Sorry,
that's the one that me and Pete have seen, and we'll correct anybody else. Like, no, that's clearly a Michael Myers movie. You're wrong. This is what happens. 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Have we both seen all? Sorry,
that's all with the remote control mask, or the masks that are gonna like start like kids are wanting to buy these masks, and then like the media is gonna start controlling them using these masks or something like that. And that's the whole plot of the fucking movie.
Wow.
And I don't even know what happens at the end.
Yeah, I don't remember.
That's funny. Yeah, I never seen that. I would just remember people scoffing at it whenever I asked about it, and so we never saw that one.
I mean, the thing about that one is it plays into what's going on right now with social media and how we're just consuming freaking everything you see on the TV screen. Yeah.
That's it. I hope everybody watches this video or downloads this podcast and set your clocks to live by the machine and the machine to cruise, and the three of us. I'm out of gas. I talked about the things I wanted to talk about. Oh, you know what? I gotta talk about Sewer Boys. Before I go, like we're talking about all these cool art things, and we're talking about the art show that's coming up next month. Again, or this month if it's released on the 3rd, 10 days from now. Again, October 13th, Friday the 13th. Go to Nostalgia Comic Shop, but also I'm gonna have if you go to my table at any convention in the future. I'm going to have at some point, I think in the next month or two, I'm going to get shipments of a book called Sewer Boys. And Sewer Boys is a karaoke song, tribute, acid trip, retelling, remixing, and just all around homage, and also probably an offense to the original black and white Ninja Turtles comic book. So if you've ever read that black and white Eastman and Laird 40-page comic, me and a bunch of other people said, "Hey, we really like that comic. Let's all choose 2 pages each." And this is something that was coordinated by Erwin Papa, again, the Ink and Drink crew, like all of those, most of the guys who did Blue Beetle shirts, some of the guys that are going to be doing some art for next month or for October, and like just people that meet up at that Long Beach Ink and Drink. Erwin Papa said, "Hey guys, let's get a bunch of us together. Everyone take 2 pages from the original 40-page comic, and we're going to redraw it in any style we want, in any in any uh, 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 in any rearranging of it that you want. So you can move the panels, change what you want, and eventually 2 pages each turned into, well, I want to draw these pages too. Okay, fine, you can draw those. Well, can I draw these pages as well? Like, and just everybody is doing whatever they want with the original 2 pages they want. Some people are changing characters. Some people have thrown in like Marvel characters. Some people have thrown in like all kinds of other cartoons that we used to watch as kids, and turned it into like really, like, when I say it's an acid trip, it's an acid trip because on one page you're looking at Ninja Turtles no. On one page you're looking at Sewer Boys, and on the next page you're looking at the Street Sharks, and the next page somebody drew the Hulk, and the next page, like, it gets really wild and crazy. And this 40-page tribute turned into like about 120 pages of just, hey man, we really like this thing, and we all just like it so much that we spent too much time and we made a bunch of extra things. And that's going to be available soon. It's a very limited print run. I can't even tell you the number. Probably less than 200 books. Like, it's an absurd amount of books to print. Like, I thought I printed a low number with Dark Mouse Ink. I only printed 200 of this. I think that the amount of books we're getting of Sewer Boys is going to be less than that. And there's a bunch of us that worked on this.
Oh, that sounds fun, dude. I remember the first time you mentioned that, I was like, that sounds ridiculous. That sounds tedious. That sounds like a long, tedious process. But now you're done. It's already going to be on sale.
Yeah, it's gonna be available. I'm gonna bother Pete to make sure that he has some in the shop. So everybody that's listening to this, if you don't see it in the shop, ask Pete, when can I get my Sewer Boys? And then leave a turtle in the shop, just
there you go,
inexplicably. And just like every day that you don't see Sewer Boys on the shelf, just go in there and add another turtle to the pile of turtles.
Every time we don't see Turtle Boys in here, he's gonna wake up with the turtle head next to him. Very
cool. That got dark.
Well, that just shows the level of commitment we have here in Nostalgic Books and Comics. Nostalgic Comics.
We'll kill some reptiles. I know we're joking, but that makes me feel bad. That's how I know I'm getting old. Hey man, Pete, I don't know. Have you guys talked about it on the podcast? You have a cool new mural on the wall, on the windows at your shop?
Yeah, I don't think we've talked about that. Yeah.
No, but technically it was just created like last weekend?
Yeah. 2 weekends ago. Yeah.
Okay, so like 2 weeks old. So this is October 3rd. So about a month ago, you had a cool new mural go up. Who's the artist? Who painted that? Now promoting other people.
Yeah, you go. That's a friend of mine, Justin Ralph. He's out of Seattle, I think. I want to say.
So you flew him out here to paint on your windows. No, what a generous guy. See, that $3 million is going a long way.
But he actually did that. He painted the window about almost a year ago, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he just ran out of time. He had this idea to put a bunch of independent comic creator characters on the window. And he did the whole thing, and then he ran out of time when it came to putting the characters up.
Oh man!
And he kept on telling me like, "Oh, I'm gonna come back and do it." And I don't know where he just showed up when middle of August he showed up, and he was like, "Okay, do it now." I'm like, "Yeah, go for
it." Nice, cool, man.
Yeah. And did you see who was on there?
Yeah, there's a cool little Dark Mouse on there. Love it. You got Dark Mouse, you got a Muerto by Javier Hernandez, you got all kinds of stuff. You got the Pizza Cats.
Yeah.
Lucha Cats.
Yeah.
Pizza Cats is a cartoon. I think that pops up in Sewer Boys as well.
Yeah, see. Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, it's just this absurd, man. There's some really cool double page spreads in there. There's guys in there that are drawing that you're just like, man, like there's you can't wait until they're famous, because then everybody will understand what you know about them because they're so good.
Nice.
Man, like this is cool. Like if people get their hands on this book, they should treasure it. It's very unique and special, and it's wild to me that you can get that many group of people, like that group of people together to make something like that. Like I got 5 guys to make some Blue Beetle designs, and I love that. But Erwin got like 30 to make this like tribute 100-page comic. Like that's insane.
That's good. And I don't know. I think that we covered pretty much everything, Nathaniel, today.
I also have a lot of existential dread, but we didn't get to that. So
no. Because I mean, if that was the case, we'd be here all night. Thank you again for suggesting via Zoom. I'm just sad no one else got to play with us today, but I know this will mean that we will be able to play with more people in the future.
Oh man, hang on. You know what? You know what I'm gonna do? Yeah. I'm gonna give you this treat at the very end here. We're going, because it is Wednesday night, because it is Ink and Drink Discord night. I'm going to log in and share the screen, see what the guys are drawing tonight, because I haven't logged in. I don't know what background they're drawing on. A lot of times we just like very little of this stuff gets published. Like Erwin will find a background and then we will draw on it, or Erwin will just put up a blank page and we'll split it up into grids, and then we'll like draw on that stuff. And like if you're available to join, then you join. But like, because so many people are working on it, and like nothing, like all of our styles don't really compose it into one cohesive piece all the time. Like nothing happens with it. We just make the drawing just to make the drawing. We're there to hang out and do a thing together. So nobody really gets to see it. And I'm talking and trying to do a password at the same time.
At the same time. Well, no. Well, in that case, let me take a moment to thank you very much for doing this again, Nathaniel, and hopefully we can definitely do it again in the future.
But if anybody is listening that wants to join in and wants to draw with us, we draw on magma.com. Go to the Ink and Drink Long Beach Instagram page and find that there. I kind of want to see what they're drawing first before I show you, because I'm not going to say who, but some people like to draw
phallic.
It's some genitalia almost always inexplicably shows up, at least momentarily, and then it gets erased. Sometimes it just stays there. But this one's a gross one.
What is it? As long as man has learned how to art, one of the first things they learn how to draw was a penis.
Yeah, I mean it's not Venus, not Vitruvian. It's the Vitruvian man. What's the female sculpture? Venus de Milo? Yeah. All right, so I can share this. It's gross, but there's no genitalia here. Share screen 2. I might go choppy again because this is gonna use some bandwidth.
Oh, it's that one. Oh, what's his name? Steve Martin.
Yeah, Little Shop of Horror.
Yeah.
Is this Little Shop of Horrors? I've never seen this either.
Yeah.
So this is obviously a dentist scene, and like you can see like who's logged in tonight on the top right hand. Like I know who these avatars are, but you guys don't know. But like Bob is here, Bob Kurthy, who I was talking about earlier. Erwin Papa's here. He's again like more or less the art director and coordinator for us. He's the mayor of Ink and Drink. Sean Lenahan is there. He might participate in the Big Knives and Hockey Masks, and Phil McVan is here. Somebody drew a Hellboy hand. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm reasonably sure that this grotesque looking chin over here is Bob. Cool. He's man, it's so well done. It makes my stomach.
Yeah, I don't know if it's hairy or it's a scrotum.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. But yes, that might be what I'm drawing with the guys here in a second.
Sounds like fun, dude.
Yeah, it's fun. If you want, I'll send you the link right now.
Yeah, well, I gotta still hang out and do other shit. But maybe next time.
No, I hear you. Yeah, I don't mean like right now, like you have to join, but like in the future, like again, every Wednesday, 8 p.m., log on, More than welcome.
This draw is crazy. Kids.
Yeah.
Sounds good. You don't actually have to drink unless you actually have drink.
No, yeah, you don't have to drink. That's not a requirement. We just happen to, if you're meeting up in person, it's at a bar, you don't have to drink. If you're going online, I think only like one or two people, like we've actually heard them drinking and they've shared that they were drinking. But like sometimes I'll have a beer or something, but like no, not much. But yeah, thanks so much for having me on again. Thank you for Jif Creamy Peanut Butter for sponsoring this episode. That Jiffin Good, you'd accidentally add it to your cart more than once. Mouth-watering, fresh roasted peanut taste. Obviously, no other peanut butter will do. Jif, that Jiffin Good.
Jiffin Good. And to anyone still listening to us, thank you very much. Have yourself a good afternoon, good night, and good morning. And bye.
Bye.